guys, Jody here, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Jody, and on my channel I talk about Broadway and books. And in today's video, I'll be continuing my Broadway show series where I talk about every Broadway show I ever saw over the 20 years I was seeing Broadway shows on a regular basis. So I'll go over, who was in the cast at the performance that I saw, who was on the creative team, any favorite songs or moments I liked from the show, how I like the show itself, and anything interesting I find in the playbill along the way. So, without any further ado, because I know you guys are all on the edge of your seats if you love Broadway and theater, let's get on to today's video. So, the 7th Broadway show I ever saw is technically a stage adaptation because it was first a novella, but that would be Jekyll Hyde. So, I saw Jekyll Hyde in December of 2000. And, I guess I'll get to how I like the show in a minute, but the reason why I wanted to see this was it looked really interesting, it looked scary, it looked edgy, and it was a show that at the time it had been playing for a few years, so I thought to myself, it's successful, it's popular, I'm probably going to like it. But, we'll get to that in a minute. But, yeah, so this show, let's get on to, who was on the page with the credits. Because that's what I usually do in these videos. So, there you go, page with the credits. Page with the picture of the lead, supporting, chorus, ensemble, alternates, understudies. Everybody's on the same page. There we go. And the cast list as well. So, actually, when I saw the show, if you saw, David Hasselhoff was in the show I saw. But I assumed he would be there. But, as you see more and more theater, you become aware that not every performer does 8 shows a week. And this was a case where David Hasselhoff, my camera is out of focus. Focus camera. Give it a second. But, yeah, so this was a situation where, I'm sorry about my camera. Maybe it focuses. I don't know why my camera keeps doing this. Does this happen to anyone else? Let's see. Miracle, it's focused. So yeah, David Hasselhoff did not perform Wednesday and Saturday matinees, and I went to a Saturday matinee. So I did not see David Hasselhoff at my performance. I saw a performer named Robert Evans, which I think I maybe had seen him in other shows after this show. I can't remember. I don't know if I'm right about that, but I think his name does sound familiar. And a performer there were 2 performers in the show that their names stood out to me because I've seen them at other shows since then. And it's actually both of their Broadway debuts. And this is amazing to me now because this first performer I'm talking about, she has gone on to do so many Broadway shows. She's such like a staple in the theater community, like amazing performer. She's been nominated for several Tony Awards, and she's won a Tony Award, and she's actually going to be on Broadway again in January with Brian Darcy James in a new musical, and that is Kelly O'Hara was in this show when I saw it. There she is, and I read her biography. Where is it? Yeah, it's right. Well, this probably won't come out, but because the camera probably won't focus this, but her biography is right there, and this was actually her Broadway debut. Like, how amazing is it that I got to see a show that was Kelly O'Hara's Broadway debut. She understudied for, I believe, Emma, and she played Kate normally. But how amazing. She came to the show from Jekyll Hyde on national tour. Just amazing to have gone to see one of her first show, and she's gone on to have such a successful career. And one of my favorite performers as well. And let's see, John Tracy Egan, who played Mike in the show. I can't remember, this is also his Broadway debut. But I can't remember, I think his name sounds very familiar to me. I'm pretty sure I saw him in The Little Mermaid. And I think he might have been the full Monty, like maybe not the original cast, maybe like he was in part of the replacement cast because everyone left the show at some point and everybody got replaced with new performers. And yeah, so that's that. And now for the creative team. So let's see. Well, I'll get to the first page again because that's where most of everybody's name is. But this is a Frank Wildhorn production, if you will. He wrote the music, the score. Oh, I guess he wrote the music. And I have seen a lot of Frank Wildhorn productions. This was probably his most successful show, but many of his shows, have not gone on to be like very successful, if you will, as far as having like a long run on Broadway. You know, they usually are very short-lived. But that being said, I will say most of his shows have amazing songs and scores, and this was definitely a show that I remember really liking the score. Yeah. And Facade was a good song, and This Is the Moment is obviously the number everyone probably remembers when they think of this show. And yeah. So as far as how did I like the show? So I didn't like it, honestly. I mean, it was only my seventh Broadway show, but so usually in the beginning when you're seeing shows, like you kind of like everything because like you haven't seen many things. So that being said, this was only my seventh show, and I didn't like it. So that take that for what you will. You know, I ended up seeing the show, like I said, on Broadway. Then I ended up seeing a community theater production, and then I also saw the 2017 revival on Broadway. And I wanted to like the show every time I saw it. Like the concept of the story is so, it seems like it would work really well as a show. And as far as this show is concerned, I feel like this is a show where the score outshines the show, like the book, the dialogue. And this is just one of those shows where I think that's the case. There's a lot of shows I've seen where, you know, the book will outshine the score. And this is just a case where the songs are like, you know, amazing, iconic, if you will. Like, This Is the Moment. This is the moment. This is your moment. This is the moment. That's an iconic song for the theater. And I just think like this show, it should work, but it doesn't. At least not for me. It's just not for me, I guess. Because I've seen like 2 other productions of it after I saw this production, and I didn't like any one. But I still, that being said, I still really like the score. I really like, you know, the scenic design, the costumes, the acting. All the performances I ever saw in any of these shows were always amazing. So it is possible to like a production but not like the show. So that's a case for me with this. And yeah. And then for anything interesting I may find in the playbill along the way. Oh, actually, after I saw the show, Saturday Night Fever was playing still at the time. And, you know, this was playing at the Plymouth Theater, which is now the Schofield Theater. But Saturday Night Fever was on the Minskoff, and if you know Broadway theaters, you know that they're like right next to each other. You just walk a little bit and you're there. And I couldn't not go to the stage door for Saturday Night Fever that day. It's like, I don't think I did the stage door for this show, but I was like, Saturday Night Fever's there. I cannot walk by it and not go to the stage door. The shows were about the same running time. That just wouldn't have been not possible. So, yeah, I met a lot of performers from Saturday Night Fever on Broadway that day again. Also nice because they're the best cast ever. And then I was trying to get to the playbill. Oh, so yeah, so I saw this in December of 2000. Hopefully the camera doesn't not focus. No, okay. Nervous that it won't stay in focus if I do that. And then, you know, once you've seen a lot of productions, you become familiar with like, you know, performers, like which shows they've been in, which shows they're going to. So you want to see their performance in their new show. And the same thing goes for the creative team for shows. So there was a revival of Rocky Horror Picture Show in at this time, and David Rockwell, who also ended up doing the scenic design for Hairspray, he was the designer for the Rocky Horror Picture Show, the revival in, I guess, 2000. Yeah. I was always bummed that I didn't get to see that production. I never got to see that production because that was Raul Esparza's Broadway debut, I believe, and ugh, I would have loved to have seen that. And then what else? What else is there in here that is interesting to me that I want to share? Let's see. This is where it's gonna be a minute. Trying to go as fast as I can. Maybe that was the only thing I found interesting. Oh, well, David Hasselhoff had an article in here about joining the production of Jekyll Hyde. Let's see. That might be the only thing I find interesting. What can I say? Not everything interests me. It is fun to, you know, look back on these playbills. It's almost like a time capsule. What was kind of cool was, I don't know what the show Betrayal's about, but at the time there was a revival of it, and Juliette Binoche, Liv Schreiber, and John Slattery were in it, and it's right there. And wow, what a production to have seen, because they're amazing performers. And Proof was also on Broadway at the time, at this point. Proof? I don't know if this is... Will the camera stay in focus? Yeah, but Mary Louise Parker, I've never seen her show, but she was starring in Proof at the time, and I would have loved to have seen that because she, there's certain New York theater stage actors that I've always wanted to see in a show, and I've seen there were two, really. Liv Schreiber was one of them, and I actually got to see him in a Broadway revival. I think sometime years later. It was he did a show with Scarlett Johansson. I forget what the show is called, but eventually I'll talk about it. But he was a performer that I've always wanted to see on the stage, and I got to see him on stage, which was so cool. But Mary Louise Parker, I've always wanted to see on stage. Like, maybe one day. She's like just so amazing. That's it, and I'll give a clue to or I'll just tell you what show I'm talking about next. It's a show I talked about twice already, and it will be the last time I talk about it in the sense that I saw it on Broadway, because I did see the national tour at some point twice as well, and that is Saturday Night Fever. Talking about it for the last time I saw on Broadway, which it's going to be a fun video because that day was pretty crazy, and I'll get on to why. It's amazing that I ended up seeing it because there was a huge blizzard and for the performance that I was supposed to go to, and then so we went the day before. But I'll get to that in the next video, so be sure to stay tuned to find out all about my time seeing that show. So yeah, so today I talked about my 7th Broadway show, which was Jekyll and Hyde. And if you've made it to this point of the video, thank you so very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And let me know in the comments if you ever saw Jekyll and Hyde on Broadway, or did you ever see any production of it? And let me know how you like the show, because, like I said, I didn't really care for it, but, we all have our own opinions when it comes to, I guess theater or anything really, and, art is subjective, so what I don't like, you might like. So, just curious to hear your thoughts on this show as well. Like I said, I think the show worked some ways and didn't work in others. But, yeah. And also, let me know if you've seen any theater recently. I love talking about Broadway, so let me know in the comments what you've seen. I love to hear what you guys have seen lately. So if you've made it to this point of the video, again, thank you so very much for watching, and until next time, bye.